A lot of you guys have been asking for me to review the Haylou GT1s, and today we have a review of them. Before we go any further, I want to thank everyone that uses my affiliate links. Without your support, we really couldn't keep the channel going. Also, I've been more active on Twitter talking about tech-related stuff with you guys, and I'm really enjoying it. Also, I've got my new Xiaomi photography page where I take your Xiaomi photographs or pictures taken with your Xiaomi phones, and I share them. Okay, you guys know the drill. You want some written content? Check the website. You want to chat? Hit my Telegram group. Want to make sure you don't miss out on any of my other videos? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and let's just jump into this. So as always, we're going to start with the design of the device, then we're going to go over some of the features and specs on it, and then we're going to talk about the overall user experience and how that's all shaped my usage and my week with the Haylou GT1s. So let's go. Okay, now to just start with the design of the Haylou GT1s. We have a very small case. It's smaller than the Redmi AirDots, as well as the XIAOMI Pros. We got a micro USB port in the back, one charging light to indicate when the battery is charging and when it is full. We have a magnetic lid. The construction of the magnetic lid is pretty much identical to what we have on the Redmi AirDots in regards to molded plastic up here with like a little piece kind of glued onto the top to hold the magnet in place. My Redmi AirDots, as many of you know, have already kind of broken. There is no indicator of the battery percentage on these, so your knowledge of how much battery life the case has is quite ambiguous. The lid opens up and it stays open pretty good, stays open better than the Redmi AirDots lid does. This one just kind of flops around. This one stays open. Cool, nice. Opens and closes with magnets. And if you guys want me to do a comparison with these, let me know in the comment section down below. A look inside, we have charging pins. Focus. We have charging pins in the case. The headphones themselves slot. The headphones themselves, you kind of just drop them in and they sit pretty easily. There isn't much fussing around. I will say the soft touch plastic on the case of the Haylou, in my opinion, is a little bit better than the plastic used on the Redmi ones, and it seems to just kind of fit in better. Those who might be curious about whether or not you would be able to charge them interchangeably, you cannot. The pins are in a different orientation, so sorry about that. Okay, now up at the exterior part, this entire outer part of these headphones is in fact a touch sensitive area, which is good and bad. These are really small. When they are in your ears, you might have difficulty finding the touch area on these headphones. So it's kind of a hit and miss when it comes to changing the track on them. But this exterior area is more or less a touch point. The LED charging indicators on the headphones, they do turn off when they are connected in your ears, so you will not have any kind of exterior light or indication that you have these headphones on. It is worth noting, for those that will nitpick about this, the seams and the lid of the case, because it's so cheaply made, the seams do not always kind of line up with the rest of the case. It's not that big of a deal, but just gives you an idea of their build quality. Okay, we've talked enough about the design. Let's go up top and talk about some of the features. Now, as you guys could see from the overview of the design, these are incredibly small. They fit really nicely into your ears, and if you have to wear a headwear, turban, hijab, I've had all kinds of odd requests. I don't think that these would stick out in your ears very much. And if you're looking for like the most discreet pair of headphones possible, these are definitely a good pair of headphones for that. Another aspect of the design that I'd like to cover in regards to kind of how you interact with it is the touch panel. Now, on the QCY headphones, there's a very, very clearly defined area that is the touch panel, and there's a very clearly defined area that's not the touch panel. On these, because it's just kind of a black pill shape, you can have difficulty finding the area to activate for the touch controls. So that is worth keeping in mind, that you are going to have some negatives just purely based on the size of these. Now let's talk about some of the features. These feature the AAC audio codec, and I must say that these are some of the loudest headphones that I've ever tested. When I did my latency test, which I'll have in a second, it's really, really clear that I didn't have to turn up my microphone all the way because these headphones got so loud. On the subject of volume, you're gonna get anywhere between 3 to 4 hours of playback with these, depending upon the volume that you have them at. Today I used them for about 3 hours and I had about 30% left. So you're looking at 3 to 4 hours depending upon volume. Case will give you an extra 8 to 12 hours of battery life depending upon the volume that you're listening at these to. Obviously, if you're listening to these at max volume, you're gonna deplete the case faster because they have to charge the headphones up more. In regards to sound, I think these sound good. These are a little better than the QCY T1C, a little bit worse than the T1 Pro. That kind of fits with their price. These are about 27 bucks. The T1C is around 20 bucks, and the QCY T1 Pro is around 30, 35 bucks. So this slots right in between them, and it's reflected in their performance. Before we dive into the features of these, we're gonna go ahead and play the latency test for you guys. It's gonna have some YouTube clips, some PUBG clips. Let's hit it.
Small case. This is the case of the Redmi AirDots. This is the case of the XIAOMI AirDots. And looking for headphones to listen to rock and roll with, or like vocals, these are not that great. Okay, let's try the QCY T1Cs. These have been my reigning champion for like budget. Team match, let's go.
As you guys can see, the latency for YouTube wasn't bad at all. On PUBG, I would say it's not that usable. Like, the latency on them is definitely pretty noticeable. It's not that great. Okay, let's go ahead and do the microphone test for you guys.
Okay, guys. Right now we are at the top of a pretty tall building over here where we do the range test. We got some horns, we got some background noise coming out. We're recording this on the Haylou GT1. How do I sound? We got some wind up here as well. Let me know how I sound.
Okay, as you guys could hear, the microphone was like surprisingly pretty good. I don't know if it's something that's like algorithm based or if it's the position of the microphone, but whatever they're doing to get a better quality microphone, it definitely is working. Like the sound quality for the microphone is not bad. Up on the roof of my building, there's some mild wind, there's horns, there's cars passing by, and I'd say that like the call quality or like the microphone quality on them is pretty good. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the range of these things.
Haylou
GT1s. Same type of ranges as we always do, same exact spot. Tablet right here, Mi Pad 4. Let's go for a walk. Okay. By the way, we're filming this on the Redmi K20 Pro, 4K 30 with EIS, because we don't have EIS for 4K 60. Okay, so right around here is where most headphones start to have issues. Oh, and okay, it's starting to die on me.
What if I go left ear? Right ear. Okay. Okay. And pretty much, yeah. So at this point, this is our effective range at the point where they start to die out. For comparison's sake, the T1 Pros are maybe an extra 2 to 3 meters more. The AirDots Pro are probably an extra 3 to 4 meters more. Obviously, there's interference up here. Did I already get? Yeah. So even when I get closer, I'm still getting fallout from it, or I'm still getting lost reception.
As you guys could see with the range, if you guys have watched any of my other videos, the range on these is worse than some of the other headphones I have. It's maybe a little bit worse than what we have on the QCY. The T1 Pro, the QCY T1 Pro, is definitely better than these, and the AirDots Pro are kind of like the reigning champion for that. A lot of that though is also based on like the design with the stem and the antenna. Now I want to touch on my user experience with these. At this point, I have like a whole basket full of truly wireless headphones. And I can pick and choose what headphones I want to use whenever I want to use them. And so for me, I consider a good pair of headphones or a suggestible pair of headphones to be the headphones that I go to the most often, or the headphones that I seemingly gravitate towards because I have so many options. I use the QCY T1C a lot. A big part of the reason why I use that is the construction, the ergonomics, the use of them is very, very durable. It's very, very tactile. They don't sound the best, but the case feels like super solid and like rugged and well made. The headphones themselves are really, really easy to manipulate in regards to like their controls. They stay in my ear decently well for like what I need when I work out, stuff like that. And the question kind of comes in on whether or not the Haylou would replace these in my like most commonly used headphones, or headphones I would use the most. The case of these for me, it broke the first day I got it, or malfunctioned the first day I got it. I don't know how to really explain that, because they're not broken. You know, part of the reason why I don't recommend stuff like the day I get it is that like we're all human, we all use devices differently. Some of us have more care and more attention to detail than others. Some of us have less attention to detail. The first day I got these, I dropped one of the buds from about waist level onto the floor. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. I've dropped both my QCY headphones. Next was like a day, or that day I should say, I dropped the headphone case with the headphones in it, maybe 1/3 of a meter onto a table surface. Like it's a cheap wood table, right? And I would have like no problem doing that with my QCY headphones. From that point moving forward, and I'm not sure if this happened before because I was having issues charging these before, like when I got them out of the box, but like from that point moving forward, the battery or something about the internal charging mechanism of these, it's not functioning the way it's supposed to, right? In order for me to like effectively charge these up to 100%, I have to have this plugged into like a power bank or plugged into the wall. So obviously I could finish the review with these, but in regards to like, will these replace my QCY? They won't. I've dropped my QCY headphones multiple times and nothing has happened to either of them. And so for me at least, right, a certain amount of ruggedness and like reliability is really, really important with headphones. Like I grew up not with a lot of money in America. When I wanted to like buy stuff, I had to like mow lawns and like do landscaping work for my neighbors as a kid. And like the one thing that like I hated was working a lot and working really, really hard and going out to buy something I really wanted. And then that product like breaking on me within like a short period of time. While I don't want my personal experience to kind of necessarily change your experience with the Haylou GT1s, it is worth noting that in a live stream I was doing today, someone jumped into my chat when I was talking about having problems with these, and they said, oh, I had problems with my Haylou GT1s also, and I just kept them like plugged in, and now like it seemed to have fixed itself. It's an unscientific test. It's a small-ish sample size, but at the same time, I'm getting close to 10,000 subscribers. A lot of people who watch my channel have these headphones. And so for another person in such a small sample size to tell me that they had issues with theirs, in my mind, it doesn't say a lot about the reliability or the dependability. That is part of the reason why I no longer recommend the Redmi AirDots, and I actively tell people not to buy them because so many people have contacted me with these breaking. So in regards to the Haylou GT1s, like the final verdict of should you buy them, should you not buy them? If having the most discreet pair of headphones is the most important thing to you, then yes, the Haylou GT1s, everything about them is discreet, right? They're really small. If having the most tactile controls is really, really important to you, these are not it. When I worked out with them, I had difficulty like changing song and stuff like that. And the touch panel seemed less responsive than it did on my Xiaomi AirDots. I think it's just that the Xiaomi AirDots are a little bit bigger, but not even close to as responsive as like the really easy to push button on the XIAOMI-T1Cs, although not everyone likes pushing something into their ear, which I totally understand. The question comes down to, are these going to be a better option than other headphones in their price range? And I will be doing a full comparison video for you guys, but just based on my experience and one other person, I have to say that I'm not going to necessarily endorse people purchasing these, not because these are bad by any means, but because I have to question their quality and their quality control. Whereas with QCY, I have 2 pairs of their headphones. I've recommended their headphones to a lot of people, and looking at my sales figures on AliExpress, I've sold probably close to 100 pairs of QCY headphones. And when people are angry about a purchase, I'm usually one of the first people to hear about it because they comment on my videos saying that like I told them to buy a product and it broke. And I haven't had much in the way of like negative feedback for the QCY headphones. Maybe the bigger question for a lot of people is the difference in sound performance between these 2 pairs of headphones worth it? And the question that I would in turn ask the viewer is, would you rather have a pair of headphones with a slightly more durable construction, no lid to break, and tactile headphones? Also keep in mind, I took these in the shower a few times and they haven't broken. And I think they're IPX4 rated, so like splash resistance. Is it more important to have a slightly better sounding pair of headphones with touch controls or a slightly more durable pair of headphones? And that ultimately is up to the viewer, right? I don't want to make that decision for you. I would just say it kind of comes down to those 2 things. If you guys want to see videos about the XIAOMI-T1Cs, go ahead and click or tap over here. If you guys want to see videos about the XIAOMI-T1 Pro, go ahead and click or tap over here. If you guys want to go ahead and check videos out about the Redmi K20 Pro, click or tap up here. Until next time, guys, it's Mitchell coming to you from Hanoi. See you soon.